Does this superhero need any introduction? No. He's everybody's favorite, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And I'm sure you guys all know about the 1960s cartoon that is extremely legendary and full of modern day memes, of course. But my dad grew up watching this show, and that transpired into me growing up watching this show as a little kid as well. And I think we can all agree that this show is very nostalgic for us, and it's a very big guilty pleasure to watch. But then the 70s happened, and Nicholas Hammond got to play Spider-Man in the 1970s show, The Amazing Spider-Man. And I may have a bit of a hot take here, but I actually don't hate the show. I think it's okay. I mean, this is no 60s Batman show. Peter Parker's in it, J. Jonah Jameson's in it, but besides that, it's really not accurate to the comic book source material. Aunt May's in it for like 2 episodes maybe. Uncle Ben is never ever talked about. There's no Harry, there's no MJ, there's no Gwen. There's actually new characters they made. But if you just look at this stuff and watch him do Spider-Man stuff and see him, become Spider-Man, it's not that bad. If anything, it's actually got some great entertaining shots. Especially when there's POV shots, wall crawling shots. They even have some web shots and web slinging shots. I mean, they tried their best, obviously, with the budget they had. And for what it is, it's not bad. There's entertaining aspects of this show. And I think one thing that's not praised enough is the stunt work that was done on this show. I mean, this guy is really scaling a real building from super high off the ground. I mean, sure, he's got wires, but that's just crazy. Maybe one day we'll dive deeper on this show. But today, we're not talking about this Spider-Man. But I had to bring him up though, because he was the first actual live-action Spider-Man, and he never gets enough credit, and like I said, there's good aspects there. But today, we're going to be focusing on the Japanese Spider-Man. Way to shit on America, Japan. Look at this guy. He's got so much more color, so much more energy, there's so much more production value put into the show in general. There's just so much more comic book feel. Well, except the fact that they're going to take the origin story and completely change it, because I mean, come on, it's Japan. They want to do their own thing. Alright, so here's my best take on this. This guy's name is Takeda Yamashiro, and he's this world's Peter Parker. So from what I understand, Takeda has been having visions and hallucinations related to spiders. He takes that and follows his calling, and it brings him over here to these guys who are the Iron Cross Army. Now, instead of Uncle Ben dying, here it's Takeda's father that dies. Those guys in the Iron Cross Army managed to kill his father, and they were trying to kill him next. They ended up kicking the shit out of him, and Takeda sees this guy named Gadia. Gadia meets Takeda, and Takeda is obviously afraid, thinking that he's part of the Iron Cross Army and might kill him too. But Gadia is actually there to rescue Takeda and just inform him of what's going on. He tells him of who the Iron Cross Army are and tell him that they were commanded by the Professor Monster, who's the main villain. And Gadia sees that Takeda is about to die. So he takes the spider bracelet, which contains a spider extract in it, which is going to save Takeda's life, but he has to have it on forever from now on. It then injects him with the spider extract, giving him his spider powers, and that's how he becomes Spider-Man. I think it's pretty cool. And not only that, but the spider bracelet is what holds all of his Spider-Man powers, including his webs, which are actually strings and ropes in this show. It has his Spider-Man costume, which is called the Spider Protector. So whenever he's told to put on the Spider Protector, he just gets up, presses a couple buttons, and then ba-boom, the Spider-Man costume flies out of his bracelet and he puts it on. And apparently the Japanese Spider-Man can also self-heal. He has heightened hearing, heightened sense of smell, X-ray vision. I mean, there's even more. I'm just learning all about this version of Spider-Man 2, and I love it. It's so cool. As you can tell, I'm blown away and I'm fascinated. So if you guys haven't watched this show before, I highly recommend you do. It's online everywhere in HD for free. You can't beat that. But let's not waste any more time and get into what this video is really about. And today we're going to be taking a look at the SH-Figuarts Toei Japanese TV show series version of Spider-Man. Now, starting off with the packaging, as always, SH-Figuarts outdid themselves on this box art. Just the color of the deep red they chose in general is so stunning. And honestly, SH-Figuarts boxes are usually not my favorite, but this box really caught my eye. It's really appealing with the beautiful pictures, and like I said, it has beautiful box art. The back pictures are absolutely gorgeous, and like I said, that color of red is amazing. But let's crack this thing open and see what it's all about. I've been so excited to get this figure. I unfortunately had to buy this figure twice, and as you can see on eBay, the prices for him are not so cheap. But I'll get into that later. Let's start off with his accessories. He comes with interchangeable feet, which is something you don't always see, so I thought that was kind of nice, and they are different than the ones he comes with on. He also has 6 sets of hands, and they include all the iconic hand poses from the show. which is a must-have. He even comes with a pointing finger and a couple of extra heads. Here's what the net looks like. It's very detailed and I love the way it came out and the texture of it's awesome. Some web rope. And he even has this one that his hands are already attached to, so I think that'll be fun to pose around for sure. And here's what the heads look like. This one has some thicker lenses on it and I think they look really nice. Almost like Amazing Fantasy 15. Here's the one that comes out of the box. Very even and very nice. The eyes are even and I love it. Looks great. Sculpt work is great as always. And here's a different head that has a bit of a squintier eye. It's hard to tell though. You can barely see a difference on these heads. Now, if I'm being honest with you guys, my first impression of this figure was holy shit. Just taking a first look at him, you can see how accurate he is to the show. This figure screams quality. But that shouldn't be a surprise because Bandai have actually been making toys from the Spider-Man show since the late 70s, early 80s, just like that Leopardon toy. You can see up close this figure almost has like a matte finish to it and it just looks really awesome. I love how he has ripples throughout his costume as well. It really looks like he's actually wearing it. Now, okay, I got some unfortunate news to talk about here. My copy of my figure had extremely tight arms, and I accidentally broke the figure. See, this is really tight. So I might have to heat that up right there. If only you knew how stupid that fucking sounded. Yeah, my dumbass decided to take the figure, get a hairdryer, heat up the joint because the arm was tight, and it ended up breaking right off. I had no idea it was going to happen. I've used a hairdryer before and it's never happened before like this. And I learned this lesson the hard way, unfortunately. Now, thanks to a little bit of research, which I'm very stupid I didn't do beforehand, I found out that dish soap and canola oil are lifesavers and they actually loosen joints up and you don't have to apply any heat. Now that right there is what you call a $200 lesson. Now, since I'm absolutely mentally ill and sick in the head, I decided to grab my Visa, go back on eBay, and scavenge another replacement copy. I was able to get this one for a cheaper deal than the other one, so I guess it's a win. Anyways, let's get back into the review. Now, I can forgive the web lines on the costume not being painted when you just look at how much detail they put into his spider bracelet. I mean, it literally says Spider-Man in extremely detailed painted small letters. The buttons and the screen are detailed and painted so well. I just absolutely love it. It's stunning and I applaud it. Now, if your figure looks this good in just a vanilla pose, you know you've done a great job and made an amazing action figure. If you can stand your guy up in just a non-dynamic pose, straight up vanilla, and he looks this good, you know you've done a great job. And like I said before, the details and rippling effect on him are just amazing. Look at the spot on his leg, and look at the spot near his spider logo on his back. That is so badass. Now for articulation, this guy is fully dynamic and has an incredible range of articulation. Like I mentioned earlier, you just have to be very careful with the arms and either use a dish soap, a shock oil, or if you have like a kitchen oil, like vegetable oil or canola oil, you can always use that to loosen them up. And if you do need to do that, just make sure you do, drops little by little. Take your time with it, be patient, apply a little pressure, and eventually I think you'll be okay. Because even I thought this wasn't going to work, and the canola oil ended up doing the trick on his arms. And once I got past that issue with the articulation, as you can see, he's fully functional. From head to toe, he has a ton of articulation. And take this lesson learned from me, guys. Make sure you use dish soap or canola oil or shock oil on your tight joints. Try to avoid using heat because that's literally what melted my arm right off. And I just don't want that to happen to you guys. So take it from me. Well, up in web snappers, I think we've done enough talking and you know what time it is. It's posing time. Well guys, at the end of the day, I cannot stress enough on how amazing this figure is. He's so fun to play with. Once you figure out the articulation and get those arms loosened up with some oil, he really is a dream come true. He can get down in all the classic Spider-Man poses and in all the iconic show poses, of course. I highly recommend this figure, guys. If you're able to attain the SH-Figuarts Japanese Spider-Man, go get him. Get him for a good price if you can, and make sure you don't break him. Because trust me, when I broke mine, this was literally my life story. Fuck me. And I can't lie to you guys, this figure is totally a personal grail for me. So once it broke the first time, and I did learn how to fix tight joints after that, I felt super confident in replacing it, and I'm so happy I did. That's going to do it for today, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.
Change the apart.